In the next 17 days, we are about to witness history, with Gary Gensler stepping down from the SEC and Brad Garlinghouse saying after Gensler, all boats will rise. Ripple's win in the lawsuit versus the SEC was the fatal wound in lawfare against crypto, and the XRP army bows to no one. Now in this video, we have to discuss what's taking place in the crypto market, specifically with XRP up 13% over the past 7 days. We also have to talk about XLM up 26%, HBAR up 12%, meme coins like Shiba Inu, Dogecoin, FLOKI up 10 to 20%. We're going to get into the price chart of the entire crypto industry, the XRP, the US dollar price chart, XLM's price chart, HBAR's price chart, Dogecoin versus FLOKI, and some massive bullish news with BlackRock, Stripe, some things that are set to change the game over the next few months. And the reason why right now is the most important time to lock in for 2025 if you want to create generational wealth. So you guys are going to absolutely love this video. Comment 777 if you're feeling blessed, if you're feeling bullish, and let's run it. All right, bull runners, welcome back to the channel. So to kick this video off, talking about the Bitcoin stock to flow model, after Brad Garlinghouse just made this tweet a few hours ago, talking about Gary Gensler stepping out of office, all boats will rise, starting with the Bitcoin boat. Now, Bitcoin stock to flow model has told us, essentially based on the past, how many days until the next halving Bitcoin is. And by creating a line on the chart that shows an estimated price level based on the number of Bitcoins available in the market relative to the amount being produced or mined each year, the score on the stock to flow line is the forecasted price for Bitcoin at that particular time. And by hovering your cursor over the line on the chart, you can see the forecasted price. So currently right now with Bitcoin's price roughly around $96,800, well, the model price shows that the stock to flow line is at $184,000. And to date, this model has broadly forecasted the price correctly as Bitcoin's price has followed the stock to flow line. As the amount of Bitcoins to be mined reduces over time, the stock to flow number increases. So as supply coming in the market is reducing, this is why the model is forecasting that the price of Bitcoin will increase in the future. And the reason why is because this model compares Bitcoin to commodities and things like precious metals like gold, silver, or platinum. And these are known as store of value commodities because they retain value over long time frames due to their relative scarcity. Now, I know you guys are wondering, well, if this video is about, XRP, XLM, HBAR, and meme coins like Dogecoin or FLOKI that you guys have asked us to cover, then why am I talking about Bitcoin? Well, it's important because mainstream media grabs onto Bitcoin because what the institutions have been buying through their ETFs. And because Bitcoin was the first crypto ETF to be approved, that is like the green light and the domino effect that's leading to other ETFs like the Ethereum ETF and then eventually an XRP ETF, potentially XLM, HBAR, other ETFs in the near future this year. But this model right here shows us, based on the past, what's about to happen next for Bitcoin. And if we look at every single cycle prior to this, Bitcoin has gone up, transitioning from orange to yellow, orange to yellow, orange to yellow. And even at the light green phase of the market when the top is in, it's showing over $400,000 for Bitcoin. Now, does that mean Bitcoin will go to $400,000? Well, we'll see. The main thing that we need to look at is total 2 and measure based on the Bitcoin stock to flow rainbow indicator how far we are into this yellow phase right here. So we're about 100 days on the daily candle right here. And on the bottom of the screen, you guys can see when we transition from orange to yellow in the past, starting at the end of November 2020, where we were in terms of market cap 100 days in, we were at about $570, $580 billion in market cap. And we were working our way through this range here with resistance at about $700 billion. And so we stayed below this resistance from the 19th of February of 2021 until we trended above it. And then we decisively broke above it about 42 days later. So if we measure at the top of the screen, about $1.6 trillion, how far we are into this consolidation phase, we're only 27 days in. So 40 plus days would put us about to the 18th of January as the market starts to break out. So what I'm expecting to take place over the next few weeks is obviously going to look a little bit different than what we saw happen in the past. But if we draw this ascending support right here from the low of January, even going back to December of 2020, we can see that the crypto market respected this support, bouncing off of it multiple times, forming higher lows as we continued throughout the yellow phase of the Bitcoin stock to flow rainbow indicator during the bull run. So if I were to just draw the support from the low of around $870 billion in November and connect it to this candle wick right here on the 20th of December. Simultaneously, we bounced off of it right here on the 1st of January. If we respect this support and continue higher and break the high of roughly $1.65 trillion, this would act as the zone of resistance, very similar to what we went through from the 19th of February until April, where the price attempted to break out and was consolidating at the resistance and had one final back test at this ascending support before breaking the resistance, forming a new range, and then coming back to backtest this ascending support a little bit later, continuing the bullish momentum, forming higher lows, as you can see on the bottom of the screen, and higher highs to the peak of the 12th of May around $1.5 trillion. Then we saw a big correction take place if I zoom out from yellow to green. So what that would look like on the top of the screen is the market working its way through here, consolidating at roughly $1.5, $1.6 trillion before eventually breaking through, forming a new range and potentially backtesting the previous range high, which was resistance, as support, continuing the uptrend to the peak of the bull market cycle. Now, where things would get problematic is if we broke this ascending support and simultaneously we broke below the horizontal support at about $1.3 trillion that we rebounded off of since the 21st of December. This is a major level that needs to hold for us to continue higher. If it doesn't hold and we see Bitcoin start to break down even further, well, then altcoins would bleed out. For example, with this recovery across total 2, we see XRP recovering as well from the low of $1.98. It's sitting at $2.44. And so how these ranges tend to play out here, if I compare back to the past for XRP, because that's just what we have to look at, it's not going to look the exact same, but you guys can see from 2017 around May until December what it looked like for XRP when it rallied upwards of 39 cents and then consolidated between that resistance and roughly 13 to 15 cents down here as support. We saw this descending resistance at the bottom of the screen right here. XRP broke the resistance, and you can see multiple points of contact right up here at about 31 cents, which was resistance right here, resistance right here, resistance right here, resistance all the way right here, until we finally broke through it right here on the 12th of December of 2017. Now, the time frame that it would take to do that for XRP varies. It's not an exact science here, but at the top of the screen, we can see something similar happen. We see this descending resistance from the high of XRP of $2.90 with that rally up. We see it get rejected from it right here on the 17th of December, and it's attempting to break above it right now on the daily candles. So a major horizontal zone that we're going to be watching is on these candle body closes right here from the 17th of December to the 18th of December, also from the 7th of December until the 9th of December. This zone at the top of the screen is where we're watching for XRP that it needs to break through for a short-term trend reversal. And when that happens, similar to the past, we generally see it explode right through it. But before that, there's multiple points of contact and potential rejections that take place that keeps XRP within a range for an extended period of time. And so if we see XRP get rejected from this resistance right here, it's very well possible that we just trade sideways, even back down, similar to what happened right here on the 17th or the 15th of September, and then just trade between support, resistance, support, resistance, support, ideally forming higher lows on the price chart where we can see the price coil up, showing that the bulls are gaining control, because the more points of contact that we have at either a resistance or a support, it weakens it. So because we had more points of contact at this resistance at the bottom of the screen, right here, and right here, almost, it made it up to about 28 cents. Whereas on the bottom of the screen, we didn't see the price come back down to the support on the 23rd of October, the 2nd of November, and then the 8th of December, we are forming higher lows. This was a good sign that the bulls were coming in to push XRP's price through the resistance. And so what I would want to see here, even if we get rejected from $2.60 right here, is for us to do something similar to what we saw happen at the bottom of the screen, where we just coil up and retest this zone multiple times of resistance, forming higher lows since the 10th of December, inevitably leading to a massive breakthrough for XRP because of how far we are into the Bitcoin stock to flow rainbow indicator on this yellow phase. We still have more time to go, because if I were to measure from right here at the bottom of the screen on the 26th of November, during the last bull run in 2020, when we transitioned from orange to yellow, when the peak came in, it came in 170 days later. we're only 100 days in right now. So there's another 70 days potentially before a peak comes in. It's not going to be exact, but this gives us an idea of what to expect moving forward, not only for XRP. Plus, on top of that, XRP just flipped Charles Schwab in market cap at 138 billion. Charles Schwab is 135 billion. And that was posted yesterday. Right now, XRP's market cap is 140 billion. At the second largest altcoin behind Ethereum. Ethereum is at 434 billion. If you guys remember correctly, back in 2017, XRP was the second largest cryptocurrency behind Bitcoin. It actually was higher than Ethereum. So will this be the bull run that XRP reclaims the spot as the second largest cryptocurrency, knowing that the lawsuit is going to be over this year? A potential XRP ETF is happening. Gary Gensler is stepping down. Trump is going to be office. Ripple may be IPOing. I talked about this yesterday and why I'm not selling my XRP until all of the blow happens. We've seen Ripple's stablecoin RLUSD be released. They're going to be added to more exchanges. Trump's inauguration is coming. Gensler's leaving office. Ripple's case is ending. Alt season is starting to kick off and break through resistance. Ripple is going to name some big name partnerships in the banks that they've been keeping a secret on NDAs here soon. XRP ETF approval. People have told me that I'm too bullish on XRP. I don't think everyone is bullish enough. Now, obviously, we have to stay grounded in the facts, and we're not just pushing hopium here. I want to show you guys what's happening on the charts and then talk about fundamental news as well, too. But let's look at XLM's price chart, because XLM has followed XRP with that breakout from November to early December, and we've been consolidating. With XLM breaking out from the low of 32 cents, it's sitting at 45 cents. 100 days in to the Bitcoin stock to flow rainbow indicator on the yellow phase right here. Look at the bottom of the screen, what happened to XLM transitioning from orange to yellow. The chart looked a little bit different, but this far into the cycle, we were right here at the bottom of the screen, and we were still consolidating sideways until roughly the 4th of April. Well, XLM broke out, formed a new high, violently back tested the previous range low right here of resistance, actually of support of about 36 cents, bounced off of it to the all-time high for that bull run of roughly 80 cents, and then the bear market kicked in and XLM didn't form another high. So we're almost there. XLM is going to form the high this year, and in my opinion, we're going to go into a nasty bear market leading into the tail end of 2025 and 2026. So there's still time left to make money. And where we are in this market cycle, if we were to just compare to the past, well, 100 days in was right here by March, and we had roughly 73 days left. So for the next couple of months, we could see the most explosive price action happen for XRP and see XLM and XLM as well too break out, back test the previous range, consolidate for a bit, break out again, form another high, back test the previous range, consolidate for a bit, form a parabolic blow off top, and then the bear market kicks in. So where will that put XLM's price? Well, we could draw the Fibonacci, extension tool from the high to the low and make guesstimates based on that. But I don't think that's a smart thing to do for price predictions, because a lot of people wait for something like XLM or XRP to hit a certain price before they sell anything, when they really should be looking at how far we are into the macro market cycles and also macro key indicators. For example, if I go out on the weekly, or even let's do the monthly for XLM right here, and we add on 3 key indicators such as the MACD, the relative strength index, and the stochastic RSI, and we see how overbought we are currently in this cycle. At the top, you can see right here, the MACD line in blue, if I were to just thicken it right here so you guys can see it on the screen, and the signal line as well too in orange, we have not seen a bearish cross happen yet. Even though XLM is pretty much right at its previous all-time high, well, that's a good sign, seeing that the MACD line right here is above the signal line, and the signal line just barely passed above 0. We are in positive momentum right now. Until we see something like this happen on the left-hand side of the screen where the MACD line is rolling around, and same with the histogram forming lower highs, like what happened here when XLM peaked out above 70 to almost 80 cents, and then we didn't put in another high on the histogram. We were in a downtrend. The MACD line in blue started to rotate around. Simultaneously, the RSI peaked out here, upwards of 74, and we saw a bearish cross shortly after that on the stochastic RSI on the monthly right here. If I were to just thicken this for you guys so you can see what I'm looking at. We need these to be thick. They got to be juicy so you can see what's going on these key indicators here. Otherwise, it'll make no sense to you, okay? So what we're doing is we're timing these markets to buy when the markets are oversold and to sell when they are overbought and when everyone is buying in. If you do the opposite, you're going to get wrecked because you're going to get caught buying peaks. For example, if you were buying into the markets on the 1st of April of 2021 all the way up here, when we were at the tail end of that bull run, getting ready to transition from yellow to light green, you were losing money the entire way down, and you might still be at a loss if you bought at that peak. So this is game to help you for the next bull run in the next bear market as well too, so you can understand when's the best time to buy. You would be buying at the peak of the MACD well above the signal line. You want to buy when the MACD line is well below the signal line and we are starting to reverse from bearish on the histogram to bullish, and then inevitably we see things like bullish crosses take place where the MACD line crosses above the signal line to signal that the bear market bottom is in and we're starting a reversal back to the upside. Now, this is the depression stage right here. This is the anger stage right here. And then we see the first initial pump up in the market of disbelief leading to then hope, belief, thrill, optimism, and euphoria. So we're not at euphoria yet. We get to euphoria when the stochastic RSI, the K line in blue, is all the way above 80, above the D line as well too. The RSI is well above 70 or even 80 or 90. Yes, we did peak upwards of 81 right here with this rally up. That was because XLM was suppressed for so long down within these levels below 20 cents to, 5 cents down here since December 2022 until the breakout of November 2024. So for 2 years, there was really no momentum. So that's why the RSI spiked up really quick, because it's a relative strength index of momentum. These are key momentum indicators. Right now, the RSI is at 66. So I think with the next move in the market up with total 2, the crypto total market cap excluding Bitcoin will push the RSI back up, and we'll see if it passes 80. It doesn't necessarily need to, because this would be a bearish divergence, forming a lower high on the RSI, a higher high on the price chart before the next consolidation takes place for XLM. This is telling me that we're going higher because the stochastic RSI in the monthly is not above 70 for the D line. The K line's at 70.71, but the D line's still at 56. So this is actually a great sign that there's still more momentum because the histogram is still forming higher highs. We haven't formed lower highs on the histogram for the MACD. The RSI is still below 70, and the stochastic RSI is showing the K line above the D line, still below 80 for the D line. Now on the hourly chart, if we were to zoom in and just take off the Bitcoin stock flow rainbow indicator, draw this descending resistance right here, this is just a breakout pattern for XLM. It doesn't mean we're going to go up right away. We could get rejected from the zone, come back down another time, consolidate right here, and then start working through this range before we see the next liquidity injection happen rapidly for XLM, like what happened right here. So in order for us to see a short-term trend reversal, we need to clear this zone that acted as support right here, resistance right here. This is a massive level. So it's not exact price resistance. It's a level of resistance relative to where we've been in the past. As you can see, the price pushed up to 0.449 right here, but then it pushed up to 0.46 right here. So it's a range that we need to break through and hold for multiple days, in my opinion. So we would need to do something like this to see more liquidity come into XLM. Otherwise, if we struggle to break through this range and we just consolidate at it for a while, I would expect the price to come back down, flush out any leverage traders that are long in the market, and then start working our way through here again before we retest the previous high of the 24th of November to this complacency stage high on the 2nd of December right here. This would be the main resistance that we need to break for a continuation of the macro uptrend from this massive breakout on the 3rd of November. So just like XRP, I would expect XLM to follow XRP, and I would expect XLM to even outperform XRP in terms of percentage gains. And while everyone is talking about RLUSD launching, did you know that Circle's USDC and the EURC runs on the Stellar network? Did you also know that Circle is backed by BlackRock? BlackRock, the world's largest asset management company. And we see what other entities Stellar is connected to other than BlackRock. We can see Grayscale, Deloitte, Franklin Templeton, IBM, Western Union, Visa, Stripe. It is absolutely massive, the partnerships that are taking place for Stellar's XLM. And the connection behind Stripe and XLM go way back. In fact, it goes as far back to the early initial days of Stellar having Stripe loaned SDF 3 million in exchange for 2 billion XLM. Now we're hearing talks of Stripe integrating Stellar. So this makes perfect sense given the purpose of blockchain being a growing payment rail. And with blockchain-based payments, Stellar is well positioned as any chain. Stripe brings quite an interesting background with their investors and board of director connections, along with their massive credibility for businesses that just dominated in the space of payment processing over the past decade or two, from big-time serial entrepreneurs like Elon Musk, Peter Thiel, to investment firms like A16Z to Goldman Sachs and more. On the other hand, Stripe's directory board brings connections to several other Fortune 500 companies and organizations. This is likely a large part part of why we see the success of Stripe today in global payments for e-commerce. Stripe has mentioned how crypto regulations are a big thing they're waiting on before really going into crypto. And with the previous administration, with Biden and Kamala Harris and the clown show going on and Gary Gensler and the SEC, they didn't even want to give a clear framework. So now with Trump being pro crypto, pro Bitcoin, it's going to be pro for the ISO standard projects, guys. But even then, that hasn't stopped Stripe from further establishing their ties with Stellar during Biden's reign. This was especially highlighted earlier this year at Stellar's Meridian event with Stripe executives in attendance. In my previous video, I talked about how last year Stripe processed $1 trillion in payment volume. Not only will digital payments for P2P payments grow peer-to-peer, but the rise of e-commerce payments within blockchain technology as well too. And that's where Stripe and Stellar both shine. The connections are clearly visible and the utility is clear as day. I thought this was a great post from Tokenizer. So we're just going to see massive moves for XLM and XRP. On top of that, we're going to see HBAR shine as well too. Now, when we compare to the past, we just measure 100 days in to the yellow phase of the Bitcoin stock to flow rainbow indicator. We saw HBAR start to break out after transitioning from orange to yellow. We saw this initial consolidation phase, a final low for HBAR, all the way down here at 2 cents roughly. If I were to just measure how far into that we were, it was like 40 days in. Look at the top of the screen. We saw the exact same thing happen. The transition from orange to yellow right here. We see this consolidation phase all the way down here to a final low. Let's see how long it took right there. About 40 days, almost identical. And then what happened after that on the 5th of January until the 19th of February, HBAR broke out on the top of the screen from the 4th of November until the 6th of December, HBAR broke out. And then we're consolidating in this symmetrical triangle right here as HBAR attempts to break this descending resistance. And so where were we 100 days in to this phase? HBAR was at 14 cents. And look at that. It went from 14 cents all the way up here of 45 cents within 10 days after that. So will HBAR break out within the next 10 days? We'll see. And then if we zoom out, you can see HBAR formed its all-time high during the green phase. So each chart is going to look different. They're not all necessarily going to show the exact same patterns and, symmetrical triangles, etc. Because the consolidation phase right here for HBAR between, the 20th of January until the 4th of March looks different than what we're going through right now. But what this tells me is that we still have higher to go before we see the bear market kick in for HBAR. And I even posted in our Telegram group, which you can get access to in the link in the description below, on September 24th, I said, in the next 10 years, you'll look back and wish you accumulated more HBAR at these levels. That was when HBAR was at 5 cents. And now HBAR is over 30 cents, a 6x. And even at the peak, it was at 40 cents, a 7x. So that's like turning $10,000 into $60,000 to $70,000. If we have higher to go, could we see a $1 to $2 HBAR? I definitely think anything's possible. Now, this is not financial advice. I'm not telling you to go and sell your house, sell your car, and buy HBAR, buy XLM, buy XRP. In fact, don't buy, don't sell anything we talk about. I'm just sharing the news with you guys and the facts because I don't provide financial advice. These videos are purely for education, informational purposes only. You can definitely lose money in these markets if you go against everything that I'm telling you and you buy the peaks when things are overbought and everyone's getting in the markets, and then you sell when everyone is not interested in crypto, the indicators are drastically oversold, and you get out when it's boring and you sell at a loss. That's how you lose money. But if you have any level of common sense here, you'll clearly see what's about to happen. What do you think will be announced this year as the next Hedera Global GC member versus who do you hope will be announced this year at the next Hedera Global GC member? First, we'll go, and this was posted by HBAR's official account. They said, we think Tesla Inc. and we hope Apple Computer. Interesting, because if we look at the Global Governing Council right here, they already have Ubisoft, they have Boeing, Chainlink, Dell, DBS, Deutsche Telekom, Google, IBM, LG, Standard Bank, among many others that you guys have probably seen before. So the odds of them getting Tesla or Apple Computer when they've already gotten Google, we're not talking about hitting a backwards granny half-court shot here for $1 million at a halftime show. This is very possible for HBAR as they've already proven their track record thus far. 6 to 7 new enterprises are set to join Hedera's governing council this year, and about 3 will be so huge they'll send HBAR to the moon, according to Gripecoin here. So the first announcement could be within the next week or two. So that's why I've backed up the truck for HBAR. I do hold these altcoins in my portfolio. That doesn't mean that you should. I just believe in sharing with you guys the reasons why I hold these altcoins. Another big reason is Palantir is one of the first users of HBAR's AI chips built with Intel and NVIDIA. Earlier this month, HBAR announced the launch of verifiable compute with Intel and NVIDIA as partners. And NVIDIA is also in negotiations to purchase Intel based on statements by a VP at one of both companies. Peter Thiel's Palantir, ServiceNow, and Databricks are the first users of these chips, which embed Hedera's technology to enable European Union regulation compliant artificial intelligence. So I don't think it would be out of the ordinary for HBAR to make another massive leg up this bull run and just continue the uptrend. So how high will that put HBAR? Well, we will see. One thing we need to do is look at HBAR's chart currently. We're going to clear the drawings right here, and we're going to bring it up on the monthly. And then also for the key indicators, we're going to bring up the MACD, we're going to bring up the RSI, the stochastic RSI. And we don't just look at the price chart because we're roughly right at the high we were at last bull run. So a lot of people think, well, there's not much money to be made in HBAR. When in reality, if we look at the key indicators here, like the MACD, we just saw a bullish cross take place at the beginning of October all the way down here with that breakout. And we see the momentum just starting to build on the histogram with 3 monthly green candles right here. The MACD line is above the signal line. The signal line just barely passed above 0 right here. So we are seeing momentum continue to the upside, even as HBAR consolidates on the daily. We can also see right here on the relative strength index, it's at 75. So with the next major move up for total 2 with Bitcoin, with XRP, XLM, I would just expect HBAR to perform well too and go upwards of 80 to 90 before we see the next consolidation for HBAR, bringing the relative strength index back down to the RSI based moving average here in yellow, and then forming some type of bearish divergence where the price puts in a higher high on the price chart, whereas the indicator like the RSI puts in a lower high, signaling that momentum is starting to shift over from bullish to bearish before we go into the next bear market. When we look at the stochastic RSI, we can see that the K line is at 100, the D line is at 70. So this isn't necessarily a bad thing because the D line is still below the K line. And as you can see what happened all the way back here, we stayed well above 80 from the 1st of February until the 1st of May before we saw a bearish cross take place, bringing the price down from 18 cents all the way down here to like 4 cents before rocketing up. So we could see the MACD line stay all the way up here, and then not the MACD line, the K line, and then the D line stay all the way up here for a period of time going into the summer, and then a bearish cross take place as HBAR is finding the peak for this bull run before the next major correction bear market takes place. But looking at the MACD, this tells me we still have further to go because momentum is still in favor of the bulls. Looking at the relative strength index, we're at 75. We are a little overbought right now, but if Bitcoin continues to the upside, total 2 continues to the upside, I'd expect the RSI to breach above 80 to potentially 90. And then the stochastic RSI, I would just expect to stay above 80 until we confirm a bearish cross. And then we see the next major correction transitioning like we did in the past, what I'm circling right here at the top of the screen, from yellow to light green, and then the top for the market, and then the bear market comes in. So wherever that puts the final peak for the yellow phase, then consolidation, and then the green phase, whether it's a higher high or a lower high, then we go into the bear market. And that's when we start to see everything fall apart. We see bearish crosses on the stochastic RSI. We see the RSI break down. We see a bearish cross on the MACD where the MACD line in blue crosses below the signal line. The histogram right here would rotate over from bullish green bars to light green bars, then inevitably crossing below the 0 line, turning to red bearish bars during a bear market. So right now, I still think there's money to be made with HBAR. And also where I think a ton of money is going to be made is in the meme coin market. So one of the main meme coins we need to look at is Dogecoin. Dogecoin is breaking out from the low of 30 cents, even all the way down here, where it wicked at 25 cents on the 20th of December. And now it's sitting at 38 cents, attempting a breakout. So if we just measure 100 days in to the transition from orange to yellow and how far we were into the yellow phase of the Bitcoin stock to flow rainbow indicator, we were right here at roughly 5 cents for Dogecoin. And so we attempted a breakout, if I just zoom in for you guys, right here, where the price rallied all the way back up to this resistance zone, similar to what I was showing you guys on the XRP price chart. It got rejected multiple times, and then Dogecoin just formed higher lows as it coiled up and retested the resistance similar to the XRP price chart. You know, we had 1 retest, 2 retest, 3 retests, 4 retest, and then breakthrough, massive breakthrough. And so right now, if I zoom in at the top of the screen right here, we could potentially see something similar happens where the resistance right here is roughly at 42 cents for Dogecoin. Even at where we're at right now, you guys can see it acted as support all the way around here. So depending on when Dogecoin gets rejected from this recent breakout and starts to roll around to the downside and do something like this, will then show us what's most likely to happen next as Dogecoin retests that range again, sells off to the downside, retests it again, and coils up before, bam, massive liquidity injection comes in. So we see these bull flags happen multiple times before massive liquidity injection happens. Now at the bottom of the screen, that's what we saw happen right here. That's what we saw happen right here. That's this little, I don't even know where that comes from sometimes. We keep smacking the ceiling of resistance and we form these higher lows on the price chart until we break through the resistance. The roof comes off. We let this mother trucker burn and bam, Dogecoin rallies up to 45 cents and inevitably peaks out at 77 cents, just absolutely melting faces the rest of that bull run. This is what I think is coming next for Dogecoin. And then we go into a bear market after that. And so this would look like a $1 to $2 Dogecoin potentially as we attempt to get through the resistance of 42 cents, then inevitably the high of 48 cents. Once we break through it, I think it's just going to be violent. It's going to be aggressive. But until then, we still got a little bit of time leading into the inauguration day. And so we'll just see what Dogecoin does. But another project that I think is going to outperform Dogecoin is FLOKI. Now, when we just look at FLOKI's chart at the top of the screen compared to Dogecoin's chart at the bottom of the screen right here on the 9th of October when Dogecoin was all the way down at 5 cents and FLOKI was all the way down here, roughly at the low on September of 0.00015 at the low. And we were to just measure how large of a rally was that for Dogecoin to the peak recently of this year? Well, it's about 700%. So that's about a 7 to 8x at 741%. And then if we were to just measure for FLOKI what the rally has looked like thus far, it's over 2,000%. That's a 20x. So because Dogecoin's market cap is larger, when Dogecoin does well, the lower market cap meme coins will do even better. And I think FLOKI will be one of those projects. So as you guys can see here, the resistance for FLOKI at the top of the screen right here at like 0.0003 is a strong zone that FLOKI has attempted to break through a few times. We see one point of contact right here on the 5th of June. We can also see another point of contact right here at the end of November, another point of contact right here at the 10th of December. So as Dogecoin starts to work its way through this range right here before breaking through, I would just expect FLOKI to do the same thing, work its way through this range before breaking through that resistance to the next peak before the next consolidation takes place on top of the previous range high, which in this case is resistance from the 10th of March of 2024. So when it breaks that, I think it's going to be aggressive, it's going to be violent, and then we could potentially see a back test of it, and then FLOKI forms a high, and then we see the bear market come in going into the tail end of 2025. Same thing for Dogecoin. We do something like this, form the high, and then we go into the bear market of end of 2025, 2026. Now, the reason why I hold FLOKI in my portfolio, and I even hold Dogecoin as well too, because I'm diversified, is because before community takeovers became a trend in crypto, FLOKI was pioneering the concept of community takeovers years ago. When FLOKI was rugged twice by its original developer back in 2021, instead of letting the project die and just disappearing like 99% of projects out there, the community pooled their resources and took control. This was the day the first crypto CTO in history was established. What followed is a testament to the power of community resilience. The revived FLOKI project hit a $3.5 billion market cap. Later in 2021, it survived the roughest of the bear markets and built a cult-like community that remained passionately engaged with the project until this very day. During the depths of the bear market, FLOKI's Telegram remained one of the most active communities in all of crypto. While other communities obsessed over burns, pumps, and short-term advantages, FLOKI's community focused on charity, bringing actual value, not only to the Web3 space, but to the meme coin space. Out of all of the meme coins, they have some of the strongest and most diversified value in the space, with TokenFi as well too, that I'll get into in some other videos over the next couple weeks. But the strength of their community is reflected in how they respond to adversity. During rough markets, instead of complaining, the community pushed for strongest products, school building initiatives, and ways to help the underprivileged. This deep-rooted community ethos and resilience makes FLOKI unique among tens of thousands of crypto projects, while newer projects attempt to artificially manufacture cult-like communities. FLOKI's community was forged through real adversity and united by a genuine mission to make positive change. And I'll tell you this much, guys, I've seen a lot of projects come and go in the crypto space where the teams launch the project, they disappear 6 months to 12 months later. The team behind FLOKI, very, very intelligent, very, very passionate, and they are absolutely relentless. I mean, just go to their Twitter and scroll down here and look at the updates on what they've been adding and what they've been doing over the past few months. They just announced a partnership with Kings World Cup Nations to reach 600 million video views. This is going to be a massive football tournament that's just going to bring even more exposure to the project. And this is following their successful partnership with Kings League InfoJob, which took Spain by storm in 2023. For the Kings World Cup Nations, this is bringing the same innovative format that captivated millions in Spain to an international audience, and the first ever national teams tournament of the Kings League ecosystem, created by football legend Gerard Piqué, or Piqué, or however you pronounce that, brings together 16 nations competing in a 7 A-side format that merges traditional football with esports. So the tournament will take place from January 1st through the 12th in Italy, with an expected reach of 600 million video views, 20 million hours watched across Twitch, YouTube X, TikTok. And as you guys already know, the most important thing for meme coin culture is just awareness, and that's what FLOKI's been doing, and that's why they've held up relatively strong support, and we haven't seen the price crash all the way back down here to where it was back in February 2024, and it's just coiling up, forming higher lows and back testing a major key resistance 3 different times. So I would just expect FLOKI to move even more parabolic than Dogecoin does. And if you go right here on coinmarketcap.com and we look at the hottest sector, meme coins is the hottest sector. You guys can see that Dogecoin's number 1. Shiba Inu already has a $14 billion market cap. Pepe's at 9 billion, Bonk's at 2.7. Pudgy Penguins recently exploded with the launch of their coin from their NFT collection, Dog with Hat. And then FLOKI right here is a $1.9 billion market cap. So in terms of the utility, the audit on Certic for FLOKI being top notch, I think FLOKI's going to do very, very well. I also think Brett is going to do very, very well at 1.5 billion. It's the face of the base chain. And so I do hold Brett in my portfolio as well too. And then there's a lot of other projects further down the list that are going to do well, but you have to know exactly which ones to consider adding to your portfolio. For example, our research team posted GOAT on the 13th of October of 2024 when it was right at a penny, and since then it rallied to over $1 and is currently still up over 5,000%. That's like turning $1,000 into over $50,000. Our team called Pendle at only a $16 million market cap, or 16 cents, back on February 18th of 2023, all the way back here, and since then it's rallied up over 4,000%. That's a 40x. It's like turning $1,000 into over $40,000. Our team also called BitTensor Tau September 15th, 2022, before the token was ever even launched. And since then, Tau has rallied over 2,000%. That's a 20x. Our team even said Solana is most likely to be one of the easiest trades next year, and this was posted December 29th, 2022, on the day that Solana bottomed out at around $8. And since then, Solana looks like it's up over 2,500%. That's a 25x. It's like turning $1,000 into over $25,000. And the bull run is just getting started. The list goes on and on and on. Our team called Sui, Ondo, and even some of the biggest cult-based meme coins like MOG back in July 20th of 2023, the day that MOG launched. So if you want to learn how our team is finding these altcoins before they explode, we just launched Altcoin Pro University, where our research team gives you real-time altcoin picks with explosive potential for this bull run, along with 100+ expert curated classes crafted by industry experts to discover these gems yourself, on top of our live weekly calls every single week for in-depth crypto market analysis and daily updates. And that's just a fraction of what we offer inside of Altcoin Pro University through the link below. And although we make no guarantees because crypto is definitely risky, guys, this is only $97 a month or $970 a year. If you want to save $194, getting 2 months for free and unlock some exclusive bonuses, just go through the link in the description below. Get in right now. Watch the 26-minute video covering everything that Altcoin Pro University offers to help you become the first millionaire in your family tree. If that's a goal of yours, our goal is to help 1,000 members set their portfolio up for life this month. And you can get started through the link in the description below right now, or you can go to bullrunners.com to take advantage of the bonuses we're giving you before they expire. Everyone is loving the community. They're loving the education. They're getting access to real-time altcoin picks first before we ever make videos about them. So click the link in the description below, watch the video, and I'll see you on the inside.